Let's get started seated on our mat. We're gonna lie all the way back, knees bent, hands behind our head. Tucking the pelvis here in a supported spine. Let's do some crunches. Optional here to lift up the arms if that helps you, but the goal here is just to be lifting the upper body. Let's do 5 more. Just a reminder not to tug on your head. Hands are just there lightly. And now twisting crunches. You have the option to keep your hands behind your head, or you can extend the arm as you reach. This might increase the movement, but it also might give you a little bit of leverage to get up a little easier. Let's go for 6 each side. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Allow full cycles of exhales and full cycles of inhales. Otherwise, you'll end up doing what I end up doing here, which is yawning. Your body does yawn when it's trying to give itself more oxygen. I'll add that to my goal list, breathing more during crunches. And now let's set up for reverse crunches. Knees right over the hips, and we're slowly lifting on up. I'm going to allow my hands to open up toward the ceiling. This decreases the tension in my upper body as I do this movement. This one is a little easier to use the breath. You're going to be exhaling as you lift. Let's do 4 more here. 2 and 1. Relax. Now bring the hands back behind the head. Knees will come back up actually to tabletop. We're going to do both a upper body crunch and a lower body crunch at the same time. This one is intense for me, so I do take a little bit longer at the bottom. This one definitely needs a big exhale on that effort. You can try a Pilates exhale. I like them. They kind of help. It sounds like a hiss. So it goes shh, shh. 2 more here. Last one. And relax. Rocking side to side, doing any movement that feels restorative. Now transitioning to extending the legs out in front of us and bringing our hands to our forehead. Now, it is really hard to do the roll up with the hands on the forehead because our upper body wants to really help us instead of using our abdominals. So if you'd like to just have your arms extended, that's also fine. In Pilates, this pose, or at least the Pilates I learned, is called neck pull, which is kind of a funny name, but here we are. And as you can see, sometimes it's hard to come up. If you need to reset or even change your arm position or even use your hand to help press you up, that's perfectly acceptable. Here, we're just massaging the spine and articulating very slowly down. And now we'll extend our arms up overhead for our last one. Reach up over the toes, maybe stretching here, rocking side to side. Let's bend our knees and come into a bit of a balance pose here on our sits bones. And now we're going to extend the shape out, coming into a hollow body, and then back into that bent knee position. This is sometimes called suitcase, but it is a form of a moving teaser in Pilates. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, hugging your knees. Now coming back down onto the mat. Let's raise our legs up over our hips, settling here, choosing an arm position that you like behind your head, to the sides, or even at your hips. We're doing our leg hinges. So here the legs are very activated, toes are pointing, and you're keeping that lower back pressing into the mat as you lower the legs. If the low back starts to arc away from the mat, you've probably gone too far, and you'll want to go ahead and shorten the amount of hinge that you do. This one, the exhale is nice on the return, so inhale as it extends away, exhale shh to bring it back. Relaxing here. You have the option here to do this modified version, which is the reverse crunches again, or you can just do the leg hinges, or you can draw your legs up over your upper body, doing more of like a plow, and then slowly lower down leg hinges, and repeat. So you'll continue doing whichever version of this you've chosen to do today. There is no set placement for the arms. Right now, my arms are sort of placed wherever they are to encourage my pectorals to relax when I'm using. There is no set placement for the arms. Let's do a few more. Right now, my arms are sort of placed. This is at your own pace. I mean, you can follow my pacing, but honestly, it's wherever you're at as far as your control and articulation. And each one's a little different for me too. This will be our last one, slowly rolling down, hugging those knees in towards center. For this next exercise, I'd like you to watch. So I'm using a bit of momentum here to bring myself over, and then allowing my feet to plant down to stand all the way up. This is called the candlestick jump. Join me when you can. Do whatever parts you can. So maybe you're just continuing to roll up and then trying to plant the feet down. You can also use your hand to actually press yourself up. This is not an easy pose. There's a lot of things going on at once, and so let's go ahead and try a slower version with less momentum. Let's just see what happens. And I'm going to probably fail myself. You're going to roll yourself up, plant your feet down. And here you can see there's this moment where it's like, how do you get up? You can use your hands. For this last one, we'll use momentum as we have been using it, or feel free to articulate through if you like a challenge. Coming all the way up to standing, and then just notice how far your feet are apart. And ideally, in the future, we'd work toward getting those feet right underneath us. Back down on the mat, we're gonna do 2 30-second hollow body holds. I'm demoing here some versions of the hollow body you can do, bent knees, arms overhead, or holding on to the backs of the legs as well. I'm setting up a 30-second timer here. And here we go, hollow body hold, 30 seconds. So it's completely normal to be shaking here. I used to have a teacher who used to say that's your body's way of congratulating itself. I don't know if that helps waste some time here, but you got this. We're halfway through. Bend your knees anytime you need. Take breaks when you need to. Hang in there. Keep that upper body lifted off the mat. Last 5-ish seconds. And relax. My timer tone was turned off. I'm sorry. We did a few extra seconds. Hang in there. We're going to go for round 2 now. And here we go. Find that position. Holding here, knowing that you're not frozen in space. You can change it as you need to. This second round's pretty tough for me. You're going to see me do all sorts of things. A reminder that this is a process that is not just immediately going to be perfect. You can play around and still stay engaged without giving up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing here. So for a cool down, we're going to revisit the plow pose. Please go ahead and choose whatever stretch is going to be best for you at this time. Reaching overhead, allowing that pose to settle in. We're always trying to ensure that we can breathe in whatever stretch we are in. That's an indicator of whether or not it's a safe place for you to be. We're slowly coming out of this pose. As we hug the knees in, let's grab our feet or big toe for a happy baby. Bringing the knees toward the floor and rocking side to side. Now extending our legs and arms overhead, crossing the right leg over the left, and clasping your right wrist with your left hand. Really opening up that right side. This is banana. Transitioning to the other side, left leg crosses over right, and the right wrist holds on to the left. Feeling a side body stretch here. Coming back. back to center, planting the heels of your feet together and knees out into a butterfly pose. Just breathing here into the belly, feeling your body settle. Feel free to stay here a little longer or make your way up to a seated position because that is the end of our practice today. Thank you.